folks, this is Johnny and welcome to another Home Studio Trainer Faderport video. And this one we're going to expand on the 4.5.5 update for Studio One, which added new features to the Faderport 8 and the Faderport 16. So what we're going to deal with now are the sends. And if we go to the Studio One screen, you can see that I have a number of tracks with different amounts of sends on them. So I've got 3 effects right here, all pulled up in effects channels, okay? And I have different tracks in the send area pointing to them. This track actually pointing to all 3 of them, just like that. So there's a couple of adjustments here that you can make just right off the bat. If you hit track on the Faderport right here, there we go. You can see the track view coming up here in the scribble strips and on the Faderport itself. So now I can control the absolute volume for each of the 3 effects from here. And this is in the default view if you have all selected right down here on the Faderport. Let me get to this bigger view here. There you go. So the all button is going to give you this view. If I hit audio, you can see that the Faderport is now only displaying the audio tracks. If I hit the VST instruments or the VI button, it's only going to display virtual instruments. You can see I have none there. And then you have buses. I don't have any buses either. But then you have the VCA faders, and I don't have any VCA faders, but they would all be displayed here. Or you can choose all, and then everything that I would have on the screen would show up on the Faderport. So I can control from here the effect levels, just like that. Okay, so now how do I control all of these here? Let me go back to this. So how do I actually control all of these individually? It is very, very simple. If you look at the top of the Faderport, you can actually see over here on the right side at the top, you can see the track button, which gives you the display that you see right now. And then you have the edit plugins, which was what I used in the last video. But then here is sends. If I hit sends, you can see now the Faderport updates to a single view for a single track. So what do I mean by that? So let me select a track that has plugins on it. I'm going to select track 10. There we go. Now you can see the 3 effects that are the 3 sends that are assigned to this track, track 10, and I can adjust the send levels of each of these. Look at that. If I go ahead and I show you the Studio One view, you can actually see me adjusting the sends right here. Just like that. Now, what if I don't want to see that? Okay, what if I want to see all of the tracks and the effects that are on each of them? Well, if I was to select another track, you can see there's only 1 on that one. You can see this one, there's 2 on this one, and so forth. But I want to see the view of all of the tracks with their track names and the effects listed underneath the sends area. So if you hit the send button a second time, now you can see all of the tracks listed, and you see the first level of effects across the top in the scribble strip. Now you're actually like, what do you mean levels? Okay, if you look at the effects, this channel has 1 level of effects. This channel has 2 level of effect sends. This channel has 3 levels of effects sends. Now, if I go ahead, now you can see I'm only seeing the beat delay, and I did this on purpose across the top to show you I got beat delay on 1 level, I've got the mixed verbs on all the 2nd level, and then I have the the 1 track that actually has all 3 of my sends with all 3 in that order. So now, how do I see the mixed verbs on these 2? You hit the send again. Boom. Now, the display on the Faderport has updated to the 2 mixed verb tracks. Just like that. Or the 2 mixed verb sends, I should say, not tracks. If I hit it a 3rd time, boom. Now you see the chorus is right here for this particular track, the chorus. And sends, it is the only track with 3 levels of plugins or 3 levels of sends. It's the only one that shows up in the scribble strip right there. So here's the first one. Remember, the first time you hit it, let's go to track. Now we're back in our regular track view, and I can control I can control all of the effect sends right here. The effects, the volume level for the effects right there. Okay. And then I can now hit send once, and now I have a single track view. Here's the track with 3. Here's the track with, let's see, let me find the one with 2. There it is right there. You can see the 2 up here. I'm going to go ahead and go back to this so you can actually see what I'm doing. And then I'm going to select the one channel that has only one effect. You can see it shows up in the window here in the scribble strip. And you can see on the Faderport, it is the only one that I can adjust like that. Just like that. Oops, wrong one. There it is. Beautiful. It works really well for doing it this way. Excellent. So now I'm going to hit the send button, and I'm back to the multi-display. First level, second level, third level. So if we go back to Studio One, remember, here's the first level. That's the beat delay. Second level, only 2 tracks have the mix verb. Third level, only 1 track has a third send, and that is this track right here, track number 10, and we can adjust all of that. Gosh, I hope I didn't go too fast through it. It takes a couple of tries to go through it and to understand it. So in review, here's our track view. These are our tracks. You can see here in Studio One, you can see the different levels of effects. I'm even going to go ahead and do this so that you can see both. All right, send, boom, just like that. And there we go. If I select the different tracks with the different amount of effects on them, you can see that the display updates. Let me find the one with 2. There we go. There's the one with 2. Hitting the send button the second time shows you the first level of effects between all of the tracks that are on display. And if I had more tracks, I could go back and forth with these. I could bank through them very easily. If I hit it a second time, you can see the 2 tracks that I have that have 2 effects on the second level and then 1 on the third. Okay, didn't mean to go over it so many times, but it's really important to try to understand how the different views work just by hitting the send button another time and then another time. Okay, I hope that was helpful. I'll see you all in the next video.